Chapter 1. The Case of the Forgotten Virtuoso. The fog clung to the streets of London like a shroud, muffling the clatter of hooves and the distant cries of newspaper boys. Inside 221B Baker Street, the fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows across the room. Sherlock Holmes sat in his armchair, his long fingers steepled beneath his chin, his eyes fixed on a peculiar letter that had arrived that morning. Dr. John Watson, seated across from him, sipped his tea and watched his friend with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Holmes had been unusually silent since reading the letter, his brow furrowed in deep concentration. "Well, Holmes," Watson finally broke the silence. "What is it this time? Another stolen jewel? A missing hair?" Holmes glanced up, his sharp eyes gleaming with intrigue. "Neither, Watson. This is far more perplexing. A man has vanished, not merely disappeared, but been erased. His name, his existence, his very memory, all gone." Watson set down his teacup, frowning. "Erased? Surely you don't mean literally." "I do," Holmes replied, his voice low and deliberate. "The letter is from a Mrs. Eliza Cartwright, who claims her husband, her renowned violinist, has been forgotten by everyone, including their closest friends. Even she struggles to recall his face at times." Watson leaned forward, his skepticism warring with his trust in Holmes' instincts. "That sounds like the ravings of a distressed mind. Grief can play cruel tricks on memory." "Perhaps," Holmes conceded, "but there is more. Mrs. Cartwright enclosed a photograph of her husband, taken just weeks ago. Yet when she showed it to others, they claimed the man in the picture was a stranger. Even the photographer denied ever taking it." Holmes handed the photograph to Watson. It depicted a man in his 40s, his expression serene, a violin resting against his shoulder. Watson studied it closely, but something about the image felt off. The man's features were indistinct, as if the photograph itself were resisting his gaze. "Holmes," Watson said slowly, "this is unlike any case we've encountered. It defies logic." "Precisely," Holmes replied, a faint smile playing on his lips. "And that is what makes it so compelling. Come, Watson, we have a visit to make." The cab ride to Mrs. Cartwright's home was a quiet one. Watson stared out at the fog-drenched streets, his mind racing. He had seen Holmes solve seemingly impossible cases before, but this felt different. It was as if the very fabric of reality were unraveling. Mrs. Cartwright greeted them at the door, her face pale and drawn. She led them into a modest sitting-room, where the air was heavy with the scent of lavender and despair. "Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson," she began, her voice trembling. "I don't know how to explain it. My husband, Arthur, was a celebrated violinist. He performed at the Royal Albert Hall just last month, but now it's as if he never existed. His name has vanished from the programs. His colleagues claim they've never heard of him. Even our own servants cannot recall his face." Holmes listened intently, his sharp eyes missing nothing. "Tell me, Mrs. Cartwright, when did you first notice this phenomenon?" 3 days ago," she replied. "Arthur had gone out for a walk and never returned. I searched for him everywhere, but no one remembered seeing him. When I went to the police, they dismissed me as a mad woman. That's when I wrote to you." Holmes nodded, his expression thoughtful. "And the violin, is it still here?" Mrs. Cartwright hesitated. It was here. But yesterday I went to play it, and it was gone. I don't remember moving it. I don't remember anything." Watson felt a chill run down his spine. He glanced at Holmes, who was already rising from his chair. "May we see the room where the violin was kept?" Holmes asked. Mrs. Cartwright led them to a small study. The room was tidy, but Watson noticed something strange. The